Spike and I have been kind of threatening to work together for a long time. And he reached out to me and said that he was circling back to Denzel on this. They hadn't worked together in 15, 18 years. And he had a part that he wanted me to consider, and it was based on Akira Kurosawa's High and Low, which is an incredibly interesting, beautiful, dynamic film, and you know, all of that made for a pretty good recipe. And so, yeah, I jumped on board. Also, got to shoot largely in Brooklyn, which is very, very near my house. So, it was just all it just all came together, and largely driven by Spike. He's a genuine auteur. He's one of the great American filmmakers, uh, and he is very often a neighbor of mine. So yeah, just really, really pleased finally get to work with him in earnest. When I saw the Kurosawa, it was clear that that relationship was was built on a very specific caste dynamic where there was authority and there was submission. And I said, Spike, you sure you want me to play that part? But I think what we were able to do was kind of refashion that relationship between the two characters in a way that still allows, obviously, for a certain power dynamic, but at the same time allows for a more balanced relationship, and one that really is reflective more of contemporary American society, because that simply was not. So I was really pleased that we were able to find that, and then build a kind of backstory for the two of them, for Denzel's character and for my character, that they've grown up together. They've run the streets together. One ascended, and one did not. That being my character, and so there's still some allegiance that's owed, but it's not owed out of anything arbitrary. It's owed because of the relationship that they had, and that favors that one gifted the other, and so there's a wonderful, I think, complexity to it that we don't necessarily find in the Kurosawa. The Kurosawa is, I think, it's just so beautiful. I mean, that opening scene when they're in this gorgeous architectural setting, beautifully lit, black and white, and you have these crusty old men discussing women's shoes. It's just delicious. It's just so wonderful. But I think in order, again, to contemporize it and bring it, straight into, you know, Spike Lee's New York City, the choice for David to be a record executive was one that allowed a lot of energy, to be infused into the story, and brought, the opportunity for some great music to be a character within the film. And also, I think there's a really wonderful, logical uh, uh, backdrop for the relationship of this man who's become so successful to this young wannabe rapper who's on the outside. There's so many. The film is very much about class dynamics, and so there's so much opportunity, I think, within that space to play around with those dynamics, and bring in some interesting characters into the mix as well, like ASAP Rocky, Rakim, who's a wonderful actor. I did a film with him called Monster a few years ago, and he's got he's got something. He has an ease about him. He has kind of danger about him, that and a wonderful mystery about him that suits this role really nicely. I think the structure of the film is layered with all of those things that help drive the story forward. These class dynamics, class tensions, uh, the this fraternal relationship between these two men that, in and of itself, is is bound up in some of these class tensions as well. All of these things, I think, combined um, to help heighten, the drama within the film, but also help to uh, to give it a legitimacy. Um, we understand the motivations of these characters. We understand what their aspirations are. We understand from, the young felon's perspective, why he feels on the outside of this world, this kingdom, if you will, that David has created. It's just a wonderful allegory to allow for really, uh, a morality tale to be told within. It's great stuff. And again, at the same time, it's modern New York City as seen through Spike Lee's lens. It's pretty cool.